do we quilt the quilt? This time we have an adorable little snowman quilt, and it's done with wool applique onto cotton fabric. And so we have 9 blocks, all but one are snowman wool applique. What will we do? Let's take a look at the sizes of this little quilt. It finishes at 30 by 35. So this would be 30 by 35. These little snowman blocks are 4 inches by 5.5 inches. The 9 patch area, or these strips, are 1.5 inches wide. There's these, and this is a blue border. The border here is 1.5 inches. This tiny one is 1/2 inch with a wide outer border of 4 inches, accentuated by, whoops, I can't seem to get this to move. There we go. By the smaller center area. So what would we do with this quilt? Let's look at some possibilities. So first of all, with an applique quilt, and this one already has extra things put on it, but I would find a way to stitch very, very closely to the applique in whatever color, whether it's the white or beige snowman or whether it's the background fabric. I don't have the quilt in front of me to really be able to tell, but I would stitch around the main body of each snowman. For all but this center block, that will be all you need. In the center block, I would just suggest little loops. You could throw in a little snowflake, but she's got them hand embroidered, so I don't want to take away from what she's got. And I would just go ahead and go with a blue background so that it's quilted and it's sweet, but it doesn't take away from the handwork. Then I would stitch in the ditch across the 1.5 inch strips there, and then this way, all the way across, so that you're getting the major segments done. I would stitch in the ditch on each one of those using your line tamer ruler, not a problem. Then whether you would want to, they're 4 by 5.5 inches. So if you don't do anything, you would have a 4-inch strip that's 1.5 inches wide. It's not very wide, it's a little long, so it's up to you. We could go ahead and do some simple loops. We could also fill the whole area with snowflakes this way, or, having a hard time moving this, you could just divide it into 2 parts and have a double snowflake, whatever would work for you. I've showed you one going this way. Just to make it different, I would leave that 9 patch blank, would add a little touch to it. And then however you decided to do the strips, horizontal and vertical, but the snowflakes are really cute, and so are the little loops. Then what do we do with the borders? So we can combine these 2 borders. The first blue border is 1.5 inches, the cream is 1/2, so the whole area is 2 inches. And I love coming in here with the loops and the snowflakes and going around the quilt that way. Now you would also have stitched all the way around the outer portion of these blocks as well. So that would have been stitched in the ditch as well. Then I'd go ahead, and I love the snowflakes. I'd move them around a little bit and give some space in them. Don't make them too tight. Oh, so cute. Then I'd come around that cream border and stitch in the ditch and get that set. Nothing's real big on this quilt, so it's not that big of an issue, but I would stitch around the cream border, not the inner, but from here to the outer cream, and that would be 2 inches. Then there are other feather options, and I've shown you some in videos. You can check those out. But look at these snowmen. It's winter time. It's time for ribbons and candies and such. And I love this little ribbon. I call it a ribbon type of peppermint feather. It's not really a candy, but the look of it just makes me think of it. So I love this little ribbon feather all the way around to do something different. Really, really adds to this quilt. You could do loops. You can do loops and stars or the snowflakes again. You could do regular feathers. You could come up with some ideas. This is 4 inches, but I really like this just whimsical little ribbon type of feather. Really finishes it off. So I'll go backwards today. That is mainly the way I would quilt this quilt. You could do it all over, but again, there would not be justice done to it, especially with the wool. So I would take my time and do some special things to this. And if you couldn't do the ribbon feathers, then I would come up with a grid design that you could do with a ruler on the border, and I would enjoy quilting the center section. I hope that gave you some ideas for quilting the quilt. Wonderful applique from Debbie again. Have a great week. We will see you Wednesday with another quilt.